Okay, so Howie Roseman was asked why does he hate cornerbacks? Obviously it was a joke. However, he's brought in so many DBs for top 30 and local visits, it's not even funny. The latest name is one of the top corners in the draft, Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. We also hear from Jalen Hurts and how he feels about new OC Kellen Moore. Plus, an NFL insider was asked about Patrick Surtain to the Eagles. You gotta hear what he said. That's not all. The national media is back at it again, criticizing A.J. Brown just because the Eagles signed Devontae Smith. Nakobe Dean gives us a huge update on when he'll be back from the foot injury. And ESPN talks about how close the Eagles were to bringing in Bill Belichick. What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. And today we got a lot to get into. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, can I ask y'all for a quick favor? Help your boy out. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So the Eagles continue OTAs day 3, and Jalen Hurts, of course, is leading the way. However, the attendance for the first 3 days has almost been perfect. The new guys are putting in work. Same with last year's rookies, who will be this year's sophomore players. Jalen Carter putting in that work. He was getting a lot of slack on social media due to the fact that he went out for his birthday last week. People quote tweeting it saying he should be in the gym, he shouldn't be out partying, take his keys away. First off, it was his birthday last week. Yeah, he's iced out and he got the singles. Maybe he's at the strip club, but he's only 23 years old. Who's to say that he drove there? Maybe he has his personal driver taking him out with his friends for his birthday. So we can't jump to conclusions. But he's been there every single day of voluntary OTAs, putting in the work, and I expect a big year for Jalen Carter. You can't scrutinize everything he does just because of a previous accident. I think he's learned, and he hasn't gave us anything to second guess. So I'm rocking with Jalen Carter. Quick update, Nakobe Dean spoke to the media today as well. Nakobe Dean says he's been out of a walking boot since early February and expects to be 100% soon, with a huge emphasis on soon. Right now, other than Devin White, Nakobe Dean is the second best linebacker on this roster. Maybe it changes after the draft, I don't know. But we need Nakobe Dean to step up. Moving on to some of the things Howie Roseman said at the pre-draft press conference. He talked on Tuesday about drafting a player without a clear path to the field could be a real option next week. Mainly speaking about offensive tackle and possibly cornerback if James Bradbury can get back to playing like he was in 2022, and or Keely Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers ain't up to the task. That being said, Howie Roseman was asked by a beat writer, why do you hate corners so much? Then he laughed and he said he was joking, but he continued to ask about the cornerback position, and Howie says, when we were first in pass defense, we went to the Super Bowl, we understand how important it is to have lockdown corners. And clearly, the Eagles have been bringing in a lot of defensive backs, including Alabama's cornerback Terrion Arnold, who wrapped up a pre-draft visit on Tuesday with the Eagles. One of the top defensive players in the draft, Arnold also visited with the Titans, Falcons, Vikings, Cardinals, Lions, and Jaguars. It is funny, though, how he spoke a little bit more highly about the cornerback position than I ever heard him speak about it, coming off the interview of Terrion Arnold, who by far is one of the best corners in this draft. Arnold is a versatile defender in coverage, showing ability to play press and off coverage. While on press, he shows the patience at the line of scrimmage and uses his hands well to control receivers. Combined with his footwork and lateral movement to quickly get in receivers' hip pocket, he has fluid hips to flip and run, combined with the ability to sink his hips and drive off breaks when off coverage. That's not all. Arnold shows his physicality and desire necessary to play the run and has been used on blitzes to get at the quarterback. His 2023 statistics, 14 games, 63 total tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, 5 interceptions, and 12 passes deflected. Remember, they also interviewed Kool-Aid McKinstry a couple days ago, and let's not forget they showed a lot of love to Cooper DeJean, who Ian Rappaport tweeted today, Iowa cornerback Cooper DeJean, a likely first-rounder who impressed at his pro day, only had 4 days available for top 30 visits due to the combine rechecks, his fractured fibula, and having a late pro day. And he spent those 4 days with Steelers, Seahawks, Bills, and Eagles. So while everybody else met with a boatload of teams, Cooper DeJean only had a limited time, but the Eagles made sure to be there and interview him because they do have some real interest in not just him, but in the DB room in general. Although I would love to draft a young defensive back, he normally gets them via trade. So Adam Schefter was on 97.5 The Fanatic today and was asked, could the Eagles trade for a starter-type corner? Schefter's answer was, I don't think they are trading for another Darius Slay-type cornerback. John Kincaid then asked, how about Surtain? Do you believe he's on the table? ? And Schefter's answer was, no, I have not heard that once. So Adam Schefter pretty much shuts down the Patrick Surtain possible trade to the Philadelphia Eagles, although if Howie Roseman was gearing up for that, he would keep it under wraps and quiet. So you really never know, but it don't look like it's going to happen. On another note, there was a proposed trade per Bleacher Report tweeted by Word on the Bird. Eagles received number 9 from the Bears, and the Bears receive the Eagles number 22 overall pick, 53 overall pick, a 2024 5th-round pick, and a 2025 3rd-round pick. Word on the Bird said, thoughts? Who would you want the Eagles to trade up for if we did move all the way up to 9? And do you think that's too much? I believe with this draft, that's a little too much to give up because I do think you can move up to the early teens, late teens, and get the guy that will make the Eagles better in 2024. While we're speaking of the draft, which is next week, by the way, so gear up for it, Jake Rabati of the NFL tweets, the Eagles will host their local pro day today, and the known list of players participating include Villanueva wide receiver Jerron Hayek, Temple tight end David Martin Robinson, LSU linebacker Omar Speights, Penn State cornerback Johnny Dixon, Rutgers wide receiver Jaquay Jackson, East Stroudsburg edge Deshaun McCarthy, Delaware wide receiver Vinny Papel, Rhode Island wide receiver Kay Summers, and Rutgers linebacker Deion Jennings. Who was not listed on this local pro day is cornerback from Rutgers, Max Melton, who posted on his IG him wearing an Eagle shirt and had his location as Philly, as we clearly see he's inside the building. So this could be the surprise local that really hasn't been reported, and I just started doing my due diligence on Max Melton, and I do like him for a later round pick at the cornerback position. I think he's a versatile player who can play both man and zone, but I love his instincts playing off ball, as Vic Fangio might make us do a little bit, not as much as previous DCs, but his instincts, his ability to break on the ball, his willingness to tackle, I think all that fits in. So if the Eagles don't go corner with the first or second, maybe Max Melton is there late second, but he's definitely on my radar. Howie Roseman also talked about signing young players to extensions sends the message that if you are drafted by the Eagles and do the right thing, you never have to leave. And Devontae Smith been doing the right things in Philly. At his press conference, he simply said, I don't think there's a better sports city than Philadelphia in the world. He also shut down any negative talk on targets and whatnot for him and A.J. Brown. They said that they are so close, not just on the field, off the field, and you don't got to worry about that. Why am I talking about that? Because Colin Cowherd came for A.J. Brown immediately once Devontae Smith got signed, trying to start some beef. Listen to what he said.
He will be in Philly through 2028.
Good call.
$51 million guaranteed.
Well,
that's a lot for a number 2 receiver. Well, I know A.J. Brown. Listen, A.J. Brown's their number 1. Okay,
but let's be honest here. Devontae Smith, there's no drama. There's no scrubbing Instagram. A.J. Brown, 2 years. There's been dissatisfaction.
Fair.
We called it out 2 years ago. Fanboy in Philly didn't want to hear it. We were right. Devontae Smith, this is a signal to A.J. Brown, who appears to, on occasion, be unhappy. This is a signal. Are you in or are you not? You going to complain on Instagram or not? Devontae doesn't. we're going to pay the guy that doesn't. So you can send all your signals on social media. The Eagles are sending a signal here. Are you in or not? You want to whine about it publicly? You want to complain at a press conference? That's fine. We're going to pay the other guy. So to me, A.J. Brown, say what you want, but this was Philadelphia sending a message, signing him right now. This is our guy going forward because he's one of us. He's all in. He's an Eagle, good or bad, and that has value.
No. The Eagles didn't pay Davante to spite A.J. Brown. He already got his $100 million. His contract is not due up for another 2 years. They paid Davante because they want Davante here. That has nothing to do with A.J. Brown. The fact is, when you got A.J. on one side and Davante on the other side, the Eagles are very hard to defend. That's it. No more. The culture allows us to pay these guys and keep these guys happy. Knock it off. Moving on to what Jalen Hurts said at his press conference today, he was asked about the decision to fire Brian Johnson. Jalen Hurts said, "I think Brian has had a huge part in my development. I think he's still more than capable of being a big-time head coach in this league. I just don't think it was the right time for him, and that's that." He was also asked about the new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, and just the offense in general. He said, "I'm a sponge. I have a desire for growth and development, and I want to continue to grow." Jalen Hurts also said new Eagles OC Kellen Moore and Nick Sirianni are putting the finishing touches on the offense. Jalen says the important thing is to have a strong foundation for the offense and what you want to do. He's also touched on going back to college. How many times has he had to start over with a new OC, blah, blah, blah. But he did said even while doing that, we had success, and he likes what Kellen Moore brings to the table. Of course, he mentioned new Eagle running back Saquon Barkley. He said they be having squatting competitions. He loves the energy he brings. 3 days of OTAs and some training on the side. He's learned a lot about Saquon Barkley and that he wants to win. All good things from QB1. Lastly, Jacob Sports quoted a ESPN article about Bill Belichick possibly being the Eagles coach. After their collapse last season, the Eagles considered Bill Belichick but chose to stick with Nick Sirianni. Howie Roseman spoke with Bill Belichick after his exit from New England, but no job offer was discussed. Belichick reportedly would have been interested in the Eagles job and could be a candidate in the future, again via ESPN. No. The Bill Belichick coaching ship has sailed. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Do your boy a favor. Drop the muscle emoji if you got nothing to say. Help your boy out by, you already know, hitting that like button. Subscribe if you are new. And turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. Also, leave your comments. I know y'all got some thoughts on what was all said. I love hearing from y'all. Eagle Nation knows the football. We out.